All right, welcome back inside our proactive newsroom. And joining me now is Gary Jacobs. He is the CEO of Okio Pharma. And Gary, it's good to see you again. How are you?
I'm fine, Steve. It's a pleasure to have this opportunity to speak with you.
Yeah, so you and I have talked in the past about OK 101 and really the work around dry eye disease and which is significant. I'll get you to sort of just get everyone up to date on that in just a second. But what you've learned during the work of that is something that has another potential opportunity. So lots to talk about in this particular interview, Gary. Let's talk about dry eye disease first. And I know you've released some more data on what you're seeing in clinical trials.
That's right, Steve. And we were really excited what we saw. So we announced at the beginning of the year the top line data from that 240 patient phase 2 trial of OK101 to treat dry eye disease. And what, of course, was we were pleased by was that a number of endpoints that we were looking at in these patients, in this 240 patient trial, we saw statistical significance in burning, stinging, blurred vision, in conjunctival staining. And what was particularly exciting was we saw statistical significance and a durable benefit in reduction in ocular pain. So it was a great result from that phase 2 trial. And of course, we're pursuing continued planning for further development of dry eye disease, of course. So
Yeah. And one piece about that you mentioned there is the pain part of it, and there's something called neuropathic corneal pain, and I'll get you to sort of explain to the audience what that is, and what you were sort of seeing within this particular study that gives you optimism that there could be a potential a spin-off of OK 101 to use for.
thank you, Steve. That's a great question. And one immediate point I want to make is that the drug that we are developing, OK101, is targeted against a particular receptor. It's a receptor called ChemR23. It's present on immune cells, and that was a reason we are always interested in it for treating dry eye disease. But what was also significant was it's present on nerve cells, for example, spinal cord nerve cells. And in animal studies, we had demonstrated that this drug, which targets a receptor that are on nerve cells, well, in your eye, you're innervated with a remarkable amount of ocular nerve cells. And in an animal model, we demonstrated that this drug was reducing this type of pain that we call neuropathic corneal pain. Now, what is neuropathic corneal pain? So this is like the kind of pain when you get spinal cord injury, when you get that tingling, burning sensations in all of your extremities. And in the eye, it could be devastating. People with this kind of neuropathic corneal pain can have such severe acute pain that there are even cases of suicide. So this is a very severe type of pain. It's not like a pain you get, an inflammatory pain you would get from for example, a toothache or a headache. This is damage to the ocular nerve. And when you get that damage, you get this pain that literally just is excruciating. So we demonstrated that our drug worked in animal models. And of course, we were excited in the trial we did, the phase 2 trial in dry eye disease patients. And I should point out, Steve, that patients with dry eye, a certain percentage of them suffer some damage to their nerve, their ocular nerves. So we were pleased at seeing that in that trial, we saw a durable reduction in ocular pain. And that's really fueling our excitement because we are within literally this summer, within weeks of opening a phase 2 trial of OK101 to treat specifically neuropathic corneal pain.
And Gary, just on the opportunity here, are there a lot of people that suffer with this? You mentioned that many people with dry eye disease have sort of the development of symptoms of it, but is this something that is really widespread around the world?
Well, you know, what's very important, first of all, is there's no FDA-approved drug to treat neuropathic pain. And that's really important. Now, the drug, this particular indication is listed by the National Organization of Rare Diseases, they call it NORD, as an orphan indication. And this, of course, is something that's very important. FDA has made clear they're looking for a drug that is FDA approved to treat neuropathic corneal pain. We believe that in February, we got an IND that was cleared by FDA to take our drug into neuropathic corneal pain. We believe that was the first IND ever given to treat specifically neuropathic corneal pain. I should point out that these patients have to be diagnosed with ocular nerve damage to be enrolled in the trial. This is done through what's called confocal microscopy. You actually examine to see whether these patients have nerve damage, ocular nerve damage. So we're excited. We have a leader in Dr. Pedram Hamra, who's a professor at Tufts Medical Center in Boston, who will be the principal investigator in the trial that we're looking to open. And we'll be opening that trial again, I said, sometime this summer, in this third quarter of 2024. And of course, we'll be enrolling in this trial. It's a placebo-controlled randomized trial. So neither the patients nor the doctor know whether they're getting placebo or drug. We're looking at enrolling 48 patients with readout. We expect to have top-line data sometime about this time next year. So it'll be a fairly short trial, a 3-month trial that we're looking to enroll. And of course, we're very excited about what we've already seen in dry eye disease, which is stimulating our interest in opening that trial very soon to treat neuropathic corneal pain.
Yeah, absolutely. The way you describe what patients go through and people go through in living with this, it sounds excruciating. So best of luck with that. Gary, thanks so much for the update. Really appreciate it. We look forward to hearing more details when the announcement's made. Okay?
Very much. Appreciate it, Steve. Have a nice day.
You as well. Gary Jacobs, CEO of Okio Pharma.